This is part one of my review that I'm calling Battle of the 24s. I have three Canon 24 lenses here. The 24 to 105, kind of a workhorse f4. The new 24 to newish 24 to 70 f2.8 Mark II, and the actually new 24 to 70 f4 IS. I think, I often like to start my reviews out with kind of a summary. And I think the most telling comment that's going to kind of summarize this review is that for the last week I've had a pick of all three of these lenses I could take with me anytime, anywhere I went and shot. And exclusively I chose the 24 to 70, except when I was trying to make comparisons between the two of them. This is a really, really nice lens, and for your everyday kind of around and about, it is just about perfect. Now, a disclaimer to that comment is I didn't do any professional gigs in the past week that I had these three lenses available to me. If I had been shooting a wedding, I would have chosen the 24 to 70 f2.8. That extra stop of light is critical in those lower light situations that you can often find yourself in at a wedding. And IS is great, but it doesn't freeze people in motion. So that's if you're really short on time, you could stop watching now, but I have more to say. So the 24 to 70 f2.8 is sharp. I mean, it is so sharp. And testing these lenses, running them all at f4 across the range, one of the interesting things is this lens and the 24 to 70 f4 are just a little bit brighter than the 24 to 105 at the same aperture. It's these UD lenses in these two lenses that just let in just a little bit more light, in some cases almost 2/3 of a stop of light at the same aperture. Again, that's important to note. I'm not talking about changing the camera settings. Of course you can go to f2.8 and let in a lot more light, but we're talking about at the same camera settings. Now, the 24 to 70 f4 is just really, really nice. It's a versatile lens. And as I said, it's a little bit brighter than the 24 to 105, but of course you are paying a good bit more money. The macro mode is quite stunning. I mean, it is excellent. If you put it up against the 100 macro, which is kind of my standard 100L f2.8 from Canon, which is kind of my standard of the best macro lens available across the range, it's not as good. But the fact that it's built into a really useful range lens already is excellent. It's just got this kind of rocker switch that you just press, and it lets you flip right on by 70. Interestingly enough, the metadata reports the focal length of the lens at 80 once you switch into macro mode, and you can get very, very close. Part two of my review is going to have the actual samples, images. I have several, both stills and videos across the range of the three lenses, kind of give you an idea of the differences. And also already on the blog, I have some shots of how close you can get with a macro. And when you're shooting at the macro level, that IS is really nice. It's the hybrid IS in here, which is both your lateral and your angular motion. The 24 to 105 is the slightly older, or the older IS, and it's not quite as handy. To be honest, I didn't really see any differences here, but then again, you're not getting nearly as close with the 24 to 105. There's no macro mode in there. The 24 to 70 gets close, and because it's so sharp, you can often increase that or crop that a good bit, but it's not the same as shooting. Did I already say the IS when you're shooting in that macro mode is just awesome. Now, what I don't have here is the Tamron 24 to 70 f2.8 VC. VC vibration compensation. That's Tamron's version of IS. I had a version, and there's a little box up in the corner now that will let you go watch the video about my reboxing of that. The copy I got was obviously bad, but it was so soft, and I got numerous lens errors. And those two things together, maybe if it had been soft, I would have said, let me try another copy. Maybe if I just gotten lens errors, I would have said, let me try another copy. But those two things combined, I didn't want to run into that at a wedding. And so I lost a little sleep over it, but I went ahead and paid, a large amount of money for this lens. And this is the lens that I would take to a wedding. because of those lower light situations. But for my everyday around town, this lens is just fantastic. It's versatile. It's really, really sharp. It's a really nice lens. I actually don't have the lens cap on at the moment, but it's one of those nice pinch caps so that you can take it on and off when the lens hood is on. As you see, this is not, and you have to kind of get your fingers in between the little crack between the lens hood and the lens. Not a huge thing. You can buy pinch caps for these other ones and put them on, but it's a little bit, it's something to note. So what should you buy? Well, it's tricky. It really depends on your budget and your needs. The 24-105 is still a good, solid workhorse lens. It's sharp, not quite as sharp as these two. These two are so sharp, but it is good. And it's an L-class lens for under $1,000. I think it's actually a little bit closer to $800 right now at the time of this recording, which is very good. It is weather sealed. It has IS. It's a useful range. It's heavy. And as I said, it's not quite as sharp. But if you're shooting video, this is a nice lens and a nice budget way to get into having an L lens. If you have a little bit more money, the 24-70 is an excellent pick. I think I've been gushing about it a little bit. I'm not sure what else I need to say. At this price range, though, you're actually $200 over the Tamron. The Tamron's a little bit heavier, a little bit clunkier feeling. I mean, this is just a really nice lens, and it should be at the price. This is currently running somewhere between $1,400 and $1,500. And then there's this, which is ridiculously expensive, but it is so sharp from corner to corner, all the way down to 2.8. It is a very nice lens, but it's not so light. It is lighter than the Mark I version. And I took this lens with me on vacation recently and, got lovely, lovely shots. But I didn't feel like, I wasn't so happy about always having to carry around this big chunk of a lens, and I would have been happier with a little bit lighter, more versatile lens, especially one that had macro mode built into it. So, money is no object, and you're going to be shooting in lower light situations, this is going to be what you want. If money is an object, you want the IS, but you still want the absolute sharpness, 24-70 f4. And if you're on a tight budget, if you need the IS for video, 24-105 is certainly an option. The Tamron, I didn't like it, but there are lots of people that are quite happy with it. It seems to be a good value if you get a good copy. There's also a Sigma. It's really soft. It's really soft. It's a good bit cheaper. I think it runs about $800. It's f2.8. This is f4. But it's really soft. And then there still is, I mention it from time to time. I think it's one of the best undervalued lenses out there, and that's the Tamron 28-75 f2.8. That runs about $500. It's actually the lens that's on the camera right now that's shooting this video. And if you don't need IS, that is a great budget buy, and it works on full frame. That's another important thing to remember. So I think that's everything that I wanted to say in this part 1. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. Find me over on the Facebook page and leave a message there, or send me an email. I'm happy to respond and try to help you figure out which one you need. There were no ads running during this video. I need you, if you buy one of these lenses, to use the links down below. I keep them updated with the best price. Amazon and B&H usually have those best prices. And as I said, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks for watching.